All right, I know y'all have been waiting for it, but it's finally time for us to go ahead and expand some expressions using our Pascal's triangle. So before we even start, let's go ahead and build that table out. So remember, I'm always starting with 1, and then I'm going to have another 1 and another 1. And now is when I'm going to start counting. So I'm going to add these two together. 1 plus 1 will give me 2. Write your 1s on the outside. Write your 1s on the outside. Again, I am adding 1 plus 2 to give me 3, 2 plus 1 to give me 3, 1 on the outside. Do the same thing, 1 on the outside. 1 plus 3 gives me 4, 3 and 3 is 6, 4 and 1, and let's do one more. So I have 1, 1 plus 4 is 5, 4 plus 6 is 10, another 10, 5, and 1. So there's your Pascal's triangle. Now I need to determine, well, what row am I going to be looking at? So it's always good measure just to kind of go down this table of statements. So there are n plus 1 terms. So I know my n value here is equal to 4. So that means I'm going to have 4 plus 1 terms, which is 5. So that's always good to kind of check at the end to make sure that you did it right. You should have 5 terms at the end. I'm going to look for the coefficients in the nth row. So guys, this is where I was like, hey, be really careful. You are starting at row 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here is your row of coefficients. So I'm going to just go ahead and write those so I don't forget. So I'm going to have 1, then I'm going to have 4, 6, 4, and 1. And again, this is going to take some time. So if it takes you guys a little bit extra time to write all this, that is totally fine. Then we are going to write the first term or the A term in descending order and our B term in increasing order. So you have two options. If you are having trouble remembering this pattern, go ahead and write the A's and B's, which is what I'm going to do here. So I know that it is to the 4th power, so I'm going to start A to the 4th, and then plus I'm going to have go down A cubed, A squared, A, and then no A's. Now I'm going to do my B's. Remember, start with B to the 0, so there's going to be no B term here. Then I'm going to say this is B to the 1st, B 2nd, B 3rd, and B to the 4th. And then I'm going to put pluses in between all of them to make sure that I know that each one is a different term. I do a quick check. I'm like, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 terms, which is what I should have. So there is your formula. Now, when you get better, you can start plugging in the values directly from your original question. But when you're first starting out, it's a good idea to practice doing it this way. Okay. So now I'm going to just go ahead and plug in my values for A and B. This value here is always going to be your A value. So replace every value there with K. And while that doesn't do a whole lot now, if this value was like, excuse me, maybe it was like 2K, make sure that you are putting in parentheses whatever the value is, like to the 4th power there. So make sure you're putting whatever that value is in parentheses if there's more than one value. But here it's easy enough. So this is K to the 4th plus 4 times K cubed. My B value here is 5, so let's go ahead and drop that in as well. Plus 6 times, this is now K squared, and this value is 5 squared. Keep plugging in. And then we get our plugged in form. Okay, so now we can go ahead and just simplify that big old mess. So this is still K to the 4th. This is 4K cubed times 5. Actually, I'm going to multiply that because I don't want to do multiple steps. So let's just put that as 20. K cubed plus, 5 squared is 25. 25 times 6 is 150. K squared. Plus 5 cubed is 125. 125 times 4 gives me 500. And then plus 5 to the 4th is 625. Okay, so I know that's not super simple, but it is a lot faster than multiplying K plus 5 to the 4th 4 different times. So that is your final answer. Again, make sure it's in standard form. It'll always be in standard form because of the way Pascal's triangle works. But again, that is Pascal's triangle in a nutshell. So I will say the thing that I want you guys to pay attention to is if this value here, so maybe you have like 2m plus 5. Make sure that when you are plugging in 2m, you are taking 2 to the fourth and m to the fourth. So make sure that when you are plugging in something other than just a variable, that you're squaring the number in the variable as well. Also, if you have something that is like 2m to the fourth, and then you're raising it to the fourth, remember, this is your power rule, and you're going to multiply those as well as distribute it to the 2. So those are the 2 things I want you guys to be very careful about when you are practicing. If you guys have questions, please let me know. Other than that, I will see you guys in the next one.